Security camera captured this at 3:17 a.m. That was the first line written in the incident report, typed by a shaking hand, saved on a city server that would later malfunction and lose most of its files. I know, because I was the one who pulled the footage before it disappeared. I was the night technician, the guy nobody remembers, assigned to monitor cameras that almost never showed anything more interesting than raccoons or drifting fog. The address was already famous in whispered forums and half-dead blogs, but this time it wasn't a rumor. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, 4400 Paralee Drive, Louisville, Kentucky, 40272. Room 502 East Wing. A real place, a real address, a real room, and at 3:17 a.m., something looked directly into the camera and smiled. I had started my shift at 11 p.m., coffee burning my tongue, boredom settling into my bones. The city had installed temporary security cameras inside the abandoned sanatorium after a group of teenagers broke in and nearly fell down an elevator shaft that hadn't worked since the 1960s. My job was simple. Watch the feeds, log movement, call it in if anyone trespassed. Most nights, the building slept like a corpse. At 1:42 a.m., Camera 12 flickered, just static. Old wiring, I thought. At 2:06 a.m., Camera 9 caught dust drifting through a hallway like slow snowfall. Nothing unusual. Then, at 3:17 a.m., Camera 7 activated its motion sensor. Room 502. The screen brightened, switching from night mode to infrared. The room appeared exactly as it had in the daylight photos. Peeling green paint, a rusted hospital bed bolted to the floor, and a cracked window boarded from the outside. The temperature reading in the corner dropped from 68 degrees Fahrenheit to 51 degrees Fahrenheit in less than 2 seconds. That's when the sound started. A low, wet breathing noise came through my headphones, too close, like someone was standing inches from the microphone. The room was empty, yet the camera's focus began to adjust, hunting for a subject. Then the bed creaked, slowly, as if weight pressed down on it. I leaned closer to the screen, my heart ticking louder than the clock on the wall. The mattress dented deeper, springs screaming in protest. The indentation shaped itself into something unmistakable. Shoulders, a torso, legs folded neatly, like a patient sitting upright. But there was no body. The infrared picked up nothing. No heat signature, no outline, just the bed reacting to an invisible presence. Okay. Nope, I whispered, reaching for the radio. Before I could speak, the camera zoomed in on its own. That's when I saw the fingerprints. They appeared one by one on the dusty lens, glowing white under infrared, as if pressed from the other side of the glass. 5 fingers, human-sized, wet. A palm slid down slowly, leaving a streak. And then a face formed inches from the camera. Not suddenly, grown, like mold spreading across bread. First the eyes, hollow and too wide, reflecting no light. Then the nose, collapsed inward. Then a mouth stretching into a grin that split the face too far, exposing gums but no teeth. The timestamp blinked. 3:17:14 a.m. The thing leaned back, and for a split second, the camera caught its full shape reflected in the cracked mirror behind the bed. It was wearing a patient gown. Stained dark at the chest. The audio spiked. A voice came through, raspy, layered, as if several throats spoke at once. "We were told to wait here." I fell out of my chair. By the time I scrambled back up, the feed was still running. The bed was empty again. The face gone. The fingerprints remained, slowly fading as if evaporating. The temperature climbed back to normal. The motion sensor shut off. Total duration: 47 seconds. I logged the incident, attached the clip, and sent it to my supervisor. No reply. At 4:03 a.m., camera 7 went offline completely. At 6:00 a.m., my shift ended. I should have gone home. Instead, I drove to Waverly Hills. The gate was locked, but the fence had a gap wide enough for a grown man to squeeze through. Dawn painted the sanatorium in pale orange, making it look almost peaceful. Birds circled the roof. Nothing about the place suggested what I'd seen hours earlier. Inside, the air was cold. Too cold. My flashlight beam cut through dust and long shadows. Every step echoed, as if the building remembered footsteps and replayed them a half-second late. I followed the old signs, east wing right pointing arrow, until I reached the staircase. Room 502 was exactly where the floor plans said it would be. The door was ajar. That alone was impossible. City locks. Heavy steel. No sign of forced entry. Inside, the smell hit me first, antiseptic mixed with rot. The bed sat in the center of the room, mattress indented. As if someone had just stood up. My skin prickled. I raised my flashlight toward the camera mounted in the corner. It was shattered. Not ripped out. Not vandalized. Crushed inward, like something had grabbed the lens and squeezed. On the floor beneath it, pressed into decades of dust, were footprints. Bare feet, leading from the bed, to me. I backed into the hallway, heart slamming, and that's when I heard it. The breathing. Behind me. You saw us. I ran. I didn't stop until I was back in my car, hands shaking so badly I'd dropped my keys twice. I quit that job the same day. Told myself I'd forget. I didn't. Because 2 nights later, at 3:17 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown sender. A video file. Attached was a single message. Security camera captured this at 3:17 a.m. I opened it. The footage was grainy, low resolution, clearly not from city equipment. The angle was wrong. Too low, too close to the floor. My bedroom floor. The camera was under my bed. I watched myself sleeping, blanket rising and falling. The timestamp blinked in the corner. 4:58 p.m. The mattress dipped beside me. Something crawled into frame, pale limbs bending the wrong way, skin stretched tight over bone. It lifted its head slowly, eyes locking onto the lens. And then, as if it knew I was watching, it smiled. The timestamp rolled over. 3:17 a.m. The video cut out. I didn't sleep after that. I didn't stay in that apartment. I ran, crossed state lines, changed numbers. I thought distance might save me. I was wrong. Because this morning, as I'm writing this, my new phone, brand new, unregistered, buzzed on the table. A live notification. Motion detected. Location tag attached. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Room 502. And beneath it, one final line of text. You forgot something here. If you're reading this and you live near Louisville, Kentucky, if you've ever thought about exploring abandoned places, about chasing shadows for fun, don't go there. Don't stand in room 502. Don't look into the cameras. Because whatever was captured at 3:17 a.m. wasn't trapped. It was waiting. And now that you know the time, tell me in the comments. Would you watch that footage if it was real, or would you turn away before 3:17 a.m.?